say if your revenue was 100,000, we're working off very small numbers here, and you were to sell 1,000 units in the year, your average unit is $100. The other side of the spectrum is you have expenses. And to help you calculate this, you're going to do this with your own business in the Fast Retail Profits program under the pricing strategy section. You grab your profit and loss statement. Your profit and loss statement tells you what your revenue is. You get a transaction report to calculate what your units are. And for the expenses, well, your profit and loss tells you your total expenses. And anytime you do any form of pricing, it is very critical that you calculate every expense within your business. Reason why is a lot of retailers send themselves to their deaths by only doing cost plus markups. That's all they do. Cost plus 20%, cost plus 30%, cost plus 50%. They say, oh, the market's doing that. It's wrong. It's the worst way to do it. You need to ensure that you incorporate all your costs. So this is all your expenses within your business here. So we're using this example. So there's $90,000 worth of expenses, okay? There's still 1,000 units sold, that hasn't changed. So the average unit expense is $90. Now I'm going to show you a very simple strategy that even calculating that inflation was to start to increase your costs within your business, that you can actually make a 73% increase to your bottom line just like that. And the very simple strategy to do is to increase your prices by 10% straight off. Let's look at the numbers. At the moment, your average unit revenue is this, $100. Your expenses average is at 90, giving you a $10 profit. Now, say if we were to increase every unit by 10%, so we increased the price across the board by 10%, what would happen is this, it would be $110 per unit that you sold. If you were to have 3%, so we're looking at 3% inflation, which is on norm. Okay, normally over the last 10 years, most developed economies are running on a 3% inflation through Europe, through US, through Australia and so forth, apart from any economic downturn that would actually start to spike up, but on average is around about 3%. So 110, your costs have gone up to $92.70 to calculate that 3% increase through inflationary pressures. Your profit now is $17.30. And we haven't even increased sales. We've got a 73% increase without even asking for any extra customers to come through, without asking our staff to sell anything extra, just by simply increasing your prices across the board by 10%. Now, we live in reality, okay? I understand that completely. So you're probably sitting there going, oh, Sean, I can't increase 10%. I'll lose all my competition. Okay, fair enough. If you're a little bit scared to do that, this is the next step that you can do. Get a sheet of paper. On that sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle. And on one side of it, I want you to put unique items. On the other side, I want you to put commodity. When we defined the business and we said this is what our uniqueness, your product assortment defines what you're unique in. Any product the more unique products you have, the more likely you can actually increase your products. So if you actually sit there and go, I've got a whole heap of unique products, first thing you should do on that one is increase it by 10% or more. Straight off the bat. Unique products are ones that are non-competitive, where not a lot of people do it, where people don't price shop, they don't shop on price. They're unknown values, okay? People don't research it enough. They're the ones that you can actually increase your prices on dramatically without people ever knowing. The next part is your commodity items, which is the competitive ones, which is the everyday type stuff, okay? In businesses, that would be toilet paper, it would be socks, it would be underwear, it would be, black shoes, for example, that everyone else sold the same brand of black shoes. They are the ones that people shop on, that people know the prices, that women get the coupons out of the catalogue and start to cut out or circle and say, this is the one. This is the one you see on supermarkets on ends, where the biscuits or the Coke or something like that, they're commodity items, okay? So on these commodity items, 5% plus or minus what your competitors are offering. Try to keep within the ballpark. If you're 5% a little bit cheaper, that's okay. It's not going to impact on your margin too much. However, if you are looking at your prices to be effective, you need to look at them on a minimum of every 6 months, because things happen in terms of wages might go up, things happen in terms of oil or petrol prices going up. So what happens is that affects your transportation cost of goods, they go up. Other things is that rent goes up normally in line with inflation, or they might say every year it goes up by 2% or 3%. On your rental lease. You need to factor these in. If you have not increased your prices in the last 4 years, you are technically going backwards, because inflation compounds. It's 3% one year, it's 3% next year, 3% the following year, 3% the following year after. If you're not increasing your prices, you're losing every time you make a sale. If you want to turn around your business very quickly and you want to get some instant profits going into your bottom line, you increase your prices.